citizens who are concerned with how growth is occurring in our area. And we have a special meeting tonight. We were fortunate enough to have Supervisor Mitzelfelt come to meet with us. But before he comes up, I just want to do just a quick introduction. On my left here is Terry Kostak. She's the Vice President of our organization. Over on my right is Elaine Cavion. She's the Treasurer. And then Don Van Atta is our Secretary. Just a brief history. We believe strongly in the right of the community to determine its own destiny. We believe we have the right to determine how the community of Oak Hills grows. And that's really our purpose in a nutshell. We are a nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Our mutual benefit purpose is, number one, a preservation of the rural character of our community. We believe we believe that we would like to preserve the rural character of our community. We would like to see that development within our area adheres to the community plan. The Oak Hills Community Plan is a lengthy document. There are 14 community plans that cover the unincorporated areas of the county. There's just a brief description of the plan and the boundaries over here. We also believe in the retention of large lots within our area. And that's the primary designation for zoning in our area. The predominant zoning, 14,000 acres, is designated rural living RL. So we believe in that. We don't believe that high-density development will improve our community. We have had developers come to us with that, and we are respectfully in disagreement with them in some areas. And we don't always believe that the desires of the developers will adhere to the desires of you, the citizens of Oak Hills. We believe elected and appointed officials are responsible to the community they serve. And in conclusion, what we hope to do with the Property Owners Group is to present a unified voice for you, the people that live here. A unified voice that says we would like the powers that be to adhere to the community plan when it comes to development within our area. We would like to preserve the rural character of our community. This is predominantly an equestrian and rural environment, and we've had probably at least 5 or 6 community meetings over the last couple of years, and every person I've talked to, everybody out there has said they believe in preserving the rural character of the Oak Hills planning area. So before we get started, I would just like to remind everybody to turn off their cell phones, please. We're going to have you raise your hand tonight if you have a question. In a minute, Supervisor Mitzelfelt will come up and give an introduction. What I'd like to do first is, those people that actually live within the Oak Hills Community Plan area, could you raise your hand, please? Very good. Okay.
Excuse me, I live at the corner of Arrowhead and Smoke Tree, right along the street.
Right.
But I'm actually in Feelings, but
That's fine. Yes, definitely. Everybody counts here. All right, well, as I said, this is a special meeting, and I would like to invite Supervisor Mitzelfelt up here. We appreciate him coming to meet with us, and we'll let him take the podium.
Working my way through the rest of the district. Actually, I'm going to talk about some other things other than land use, if that's okay with you, just for a few moments, and because as basically your county representative, you being county representatives, residents, there are a lot of government issues, there are a lot of government responsibilities that I have, and I'd just like to update you on some of those things, and then we can get into some of the topics that we've already heard about. Like I mentioned, I was appointed about 4 months ago. A little bit about who I am. I've been with, previously I was Chief of Staff for Supervisor Postmas for 6 years. And I'm also a past member of the County Fair Board. I was appointed by Governor Wilson. I'm past chairman of Victor Valley Transit Authority. I'm a Marine Corps veteran of Desert Shield and Desert Storm. I live in an unincorporated area. I live in Wrightwood, and I'm a member of a property owners association. I'm a member of the Wrightwood Property Owners Association, so I can appreciate the benefit of being a member and the benefits that property owners associations do hold for their members have in Wrightwood a very active association. It's active in all aspects of county government. We also have a municipal advisory council, and that really works well as a sounding board. And here in Oak Hills, we don't really have that. So the Property Owners Association is a group that I'm always looking for your opinions on issues and not just land use. So just to get into a few things before we get to land use, one of my major priorities is escalating the county's war on gangs. You've probably heard about it. We have about a $4.6 million effort going on where we are cracking down on gangs. And we have stepped up enforcement not only with sheriff's deputies, but also with prosecutions and the district attorney's office. And we're looking at expanding that even more in the budget for this year, which we're going into that process, and we'll be adopting the budget in June. We also have implemented the use of civil injunctions to use against gangs. This is important not only for the unincorporated areas where we may have a gang problem. We can actually be proactive now. We can go to a judge and say, we would like you to order this gang to cease their activities. And if they don't, then we can start building a case proactively, not waiting for a crime to happen, not waiting for some vandalism or something to occur. We can actually go after them and say, we already know what you're up to, we want you out of here. And we can do that in the unincorporated areas, and we also are making that available to the cities because gangs don't really respect necessarily, they don't respect, obviously, jurisdictional lines. So again, it's an effort of cooperation with the cities. And we're also using GPS tracking. This is a proposal that I brought to the board to track gang members on probation by putting them on global positioning satellite devices. We have 35 of them now. And 4 days after we implemented the program, a gang member was at the scene of a murder in Victorville. So we've already seen that that having the device wasn't necessarily enough of a deterrent to keep the gang member away from the type of crowd he shouldn't have been hanging around with. So we have evidence that he was probably in violation of his probation, and that it was also actually helpful in the investigation. Not a suspect, but he couldn't say that he wasn't there, and so he was definitely a witness. And so it really shows promise. But right now we're facing a bit of a challenge because the public defender is challenging that program and saying that it's not constitutional, saying that they can't afford it. They're not getting a hearing before they're being put on the tracking. So we're going to go ahead and fight that at the appeals court level. The trial court, Judge Tomberlin, actually in Victorville, he took our side, but the constitutionality was deferred to the appeals court. So we'll be moving forward with that. But we're also asking the governor and we're asking the legislature to use our county as a pilot program to also implement the tracking on parolees. And this is for people coming out of state prison. Because we can only, the county, we can only monitor people on probation. We can't monitor people on parole. So it's very important to also have the state component. So we're advocating that. And we're really a good county for pilot programs. And I think we have a good shot at using that. And I think the timing is very good. And the reason I proposed it is because we have Jessica's Law, which was passed in November. And now we have a $200 million effort going where GPS is going statewide. And it's going statewide to track sex offenders. And because the voters of California have said, if you're a felony sex offender and you have to register under Megan's Law, you're going to wear a GPS device for the rest of your life. And because of that, GPS is going to become more affordable and it's going to become more effective. And so I think that this is the right time to also expand it to gangs. And another reason why it makes sense to do that is because gang members who are committed of gang-related crimes who go to prison, when they get out of prison, they're put on a registry under the STEP law, which is the Street Terrorism Enforcement and Prevention Act.